Hey, you! Should you buy or rent in Puerto Rico in 2026? Look, I've been investing in real estate for over 25 years, and I've done hundreds of deals on the island of Puerto Rico alone. And one of the most common questions that I get is, in this market, should I be buying or renting? There's a nuanced answer to this, so I'm going to make the case for when you should buy or when you should rent. And this is given your own circumstances. And in this video, we'll even talk about the best and worst places to do both. Let's start with something that might surprise some people. Renting, that's not always a bad decision. In fact, in certain situations, renting is the much smarter play. So guys, I think that you should seriously considering renting on the island of Puerto Rico. If you're new to the island and you haven't figured out exactly where you want to live, do you like being on the ocean or like living up in the mountains? Just come, get yourself here, rent something and figure that out over the next few months before you go and plop a whole bunch of money down to buy something that you decide you didn't want. Another case where I think that you should rent rather than buy is if you're only going to be on the island for a little while. So I would say if you're not going to be here for at least 3 years or more, just rent. You don't need to buy something and get stuck in a place that you don't want to be in the very near future. And you can use this time while you rent to try and understand the island. And if you come here and you buy something not understanding the island, that can be a recipe for disaster. You might buy something accidentally in a flood zone in the path of a hurricane. And I also think that it's smart to rent if you don't have time to do the maintenance on a property. So ownership, while it's amazing and awesome, and I think that eventually everybody needs to get there, it does come with some expense, right? Once you're no longer the renter and now you're the owner, you're responsible for all the upkeep. You're responsible for, well, anything that goes wrong. So even being a renter when you're starting out in life, that seems like a good idea. And one more, if you're going to rent super expensive properties, you can almost always rent those super expensive properties cheaper than you can buy them. So you want to go live in a $50 million home in Dorado Beach East? I think you're better off renting that thing, unless you can get a bargain. And we can show you how to do that if you join our community. I guess the point is, renting can buy you clarity. It'll let you learn which neighborhoods flood, which areas lose power on the island, everywhere. And you can even figure out through a season of renting which towns are growing and which towns are dying. And some of the most expensive places to rent on the island are actually in the worst places to buy. And I'll get to that a little later on in this video. There are parts of Puerto Rico where prices are heavily inflated, inventory is super tight, emotion is driving decision, and yield doesn't make sense. These places are often the lifestyle-driven areas, high-demand, short-term locations, places where people overpay for views or vibes. We're talking about the country club living stuff. If that's you, if that's the lifestyle you want, oftentimes I think you're better off renting, but there's a lot of really great places that are country club living on the island of Puerto Rico. We'll talk about that again a little later in the video. And again, I think I said this earlier, when you're in these areas, these high value areas, it's oftentimes cheaper to rent than it is to own. That's been the case my entire life. Like if you want to live in the super high end neighborhood, it's almost always been cheaper to rent that multi-million-dollar house than it is to own that multi-million-dollar house. And the reason is because of maintenance and insurance, all of these things, and they can crush your cash flow. For instance, when I came to the island only 8 years ago, the most expensive house on the island sold right as I was showing up in Dorado Beach East for $14 million. That house now and other houses in the neighborhood routinely are selling for $25, $30, $40 million. And the most expensive house on the island is now close to $50 million. Would I want to be the guy who's put out $45 or $50 million on a house in Dorado Beach East in today's economy? I don't think so.
Here comes the money.
Short answer, if you're paying for convenience or lifestyle or trying to figure out the area, a lot of times renting makes sense. But there's a flip side to every coin, and there's other parts of the island where renting can cost you big time, and you'd be far better off owning. So let's talk about that. Here's when buying makes sense, when you have three things. If you've got time, stability, and a long-term plan, you need to be a buyer, an owner. If you're planning to stay 5 years or more, you're probably better off being a buyer. if you know neighborhoods well so you can figure out what a good deal is, you're much better off being an owner. And guys, if you're stable enough to be able to roll with the punches and deal with some friction, I think it just makes sense to invest in real estate always. Real estate investing is the way that more millionaires have been created throughout history, and that's true still today. So in my opinion, ultimately, buying will almost always win. Why? Because Puerto Rico still has a massive housing shortage, a whole bunch of aging inventory, a lot of underbuilt working class housing, and right now, there's an increasing demand from locals and from those that left the island but want to come back. And unlike the mainland, you can still force appreciation here. That's what we do all the time, value-add real estate investing. So here's where the real opportunity actually lives. And I'm talking about the places where you can find great value, good deals. Your money goes further than wherever you came from, or even if you're a local, you want to go into the places where there's a high demand from locals and maybe even expats alike, but it's not the super high-end, richy rich stuff. I'm talking about working class neighborhoods, maybe even secondary cities, like things that are just outside of San Juan or the metro area. Anything that's close enough that people can still get to where their jobs are, but the prices are still low enough that it makes a whole lot of sense. What's going to happen is, over time, you're going to see these outliers appreciate faster. The stuff that's already appreciated a ton, like the Condado portions of San Juan and Old San Juan, or even Dorado Beach East, and these high-end areas where prices have just kind of flat out gone through the roof. They're ridiculous. You guys, you're better off to buy the places where there's still value to come, where prices are still going to be increasing over the next few years, and you don't have a big downside either. And if I was you, and I'm looking at homes, I'd be looking at the value-add real estate investing. So the old housing stock, the stuff that's sitting there vacant and empty, the stuff we call zombie houses if you watch our channel, buy that stuff and fix it up to your liking. Why? Because when you do, you can get a great deal on it, and then you can make it beautiful and your own. And now you've got something that's worth way more than what you paid for it. Guys, I'm not trying to sell hype here. If you can get outside of the metro area, you're not buying in the sexy places. You're buying in the places where people actually want to live, where people actually will invest, where people will eventually buy when they want to come back to the island. And that's where equity gets created. And your rents, they'll be a little bit lower than in the metro right now, but they're going to grow steadily. And the demand, it's going to increase and be consistent. And your downside risk, it's next to nothing. Here's a mistake to avoid. People often make the decision whether they're going to buy or rent before they decide what their game plan actually is. Are you a lifestyle buyer, a long-term resident, a real estate investor, or are you a hybrid? If you're not able to answer that first, then you're going to make an emotional decision. And emotional decisions in real estate, that's expensive. So here's what I see moving into 2026. We're going to see more pressure on rents. In other words, things are going to get more expensive. There's going to be more competition for livable housing. There's going to be more demand for renovated inventory. And hopefully, there's going to be less tolerance island-wide for this distressed housing that's just sitting there idly and decaying. We'd like to see something happen with it. And that means eventually the good buys, they're going to get harder. And if you overpay, you make a bad buy, you're going to get punished faster. But be careful, because renters who wait too long could easily get priced out. And the people who win in the end are going to be the ones that understand where this island is going, not where it's been. So should you buy or rent in Puerto Rico in 2026? And the real answer is this: rent if you're buying time, and buy if you're building a future. But whatever you do, don't make decisions blindly, and don't just copy what your neighbor does. This island rewards people that learn it and punishes people who make assumptions. And if you want to learn how to evaluate markets and neighborhoods and deals on the island of Puerto Rico, then comment yes, and I'll send you the link. You can join our community for free.